Life is a series of tipping points. I was in the 6th grade and I had failed in my English subject. The teachers had banished me to the last bench and called me a dunce. I accepted the same. A few weeks into the 6th standard, I had a new teacher called Akama who came to teach us English. She noticed me peeping out of the window, disinterested in English, and questioned me about why I was doing it. One student stood up and said, "Ma'am, he has failed in English, he's a dunce." The whole class laughed. I accepted the same. The teacher admonished the students, asked me to come and sit in the front row, and said nothing. The next day when she came, she merely looked at me, acknowledged my presence. I felt elated. In the course of the class, she asked something about Shakespeare which I happened to know, and she said, "Does anyone know the answer?" I raised my hand and didn't tell the answer, and she said, "Here we have someone who's very good." A student who had failed in English in the 6th standard went on to become the topper in English by the end of the term. The tipping point, Toastmasters. One little incident made a change in the way I looked at life. Around the same time, when I was in the 7th standard, my father had to go to see the doctor in the evening, and those days there was no mobiles and there's only a landline. He asked my mother to remember the number of the doctor. I happened to be around. In the evening when he came, he asked the number and I immediately happened to tell the number, and Dad said, "This guy can remember numbers." I immediately felt very encouraged. From that point on Toastmasters, I started memorizing numbers. Every car that would go on the road, numbers would be in my mind. Every phone numbers would be in my mind. At one point of time, if I had to remember a person, I had to remember the number of the car and then the name of the person would come. I went on to be good at numbers just because my dad said I was good at numbers. The tipping point, Toastmasters. One person felt that he could make a difference the way I looked at life. As time moved on, I was 27 years old. I was coming back, I was a poultry farmer then, I was coming back from work. It was around 4:30 in the evening, I had not had my lunch. I was a bit tired. I was hurrying to drop someone when a bus happened to come from a road which normally never came out from a Rajaj Nagar. My reflexes were not good, I crashed into the bus. I met with a severe accident and woke up in the hospital a few days later. A month later, I was out of the hospital and the doctor said, "Kumaran, you have severely injured your back. You can't run, you can't lift weights. Please lead a sedentary life and do not do anything stupid." He also asked me not to drive a bike and to buy a car. Buying a car those days was unthinkable because I was still coming up in life. When the doctor said I wouldn't be able to exercise in life and asked me to lead a sedentary life, I accepted the same. Until I met Mr. Dinesh Kumar, a Toastmaster, around 11 years back. Dinesh Kumar at that point of time was 65 years old, and he happened to know that I would run at odd times whenever my body and mind permitted. One day when I was at his house, he asked me, "Kumaran, can we do the marathon?" I said, "Dinesh, you must be kidding, I can't do a marathon, I can't even run." He told me, "I'm 65, I intend running the marathon, I'm sure you can. Join me next day, let's go for a jog." Suddenly I thought, this person is 65 years old, so why I will give it a shot. I wore my jogging shoes and joined him at Sankey Tank, where I saw him running and walking. I decided to take part in a marathon that year. I did probably a month of training. I huffed and puffed, let me tell you. For 20 kilometers I took 3.5 hours. I think I took 4 hours. I thought I died. But I did a marathon. From then on till now, I've done multiple marathons. I finished 5,000 kilometers running. The tipping point was the tipping point. Someone believed that I could do it. I grabbed onto those words. And today I'm extremely fit. The only problem is I've done a little more and my knees are wobbly now. But life goes on. The point that I ask of you is, what's your tipping point? Has the tipping point visited you? Or have you visited the tipping point? The tipping point can be in the form of a friend, can be in the form of a family, can be in the form of a situation, can be in the form of an event, an incident, or can be in the form of an organization called Toastmasters. Ask me why. 2000, I am in the construction industry. The year 2000 was bad for us. I was doing lots of buildings for others and a few for myself. The industry collapsed. Suddenly I was left with lots of buildings on hand and equally lots of debts. Situation reached a point where people would call me at odd hours in the night. Many people even came near home and asked me for the amounts. I remember one point of time where a person came at 7:30 in the evening and started shouting. It was very embarrassing for me to face these people. I had nothing much to do and somebody said, there's a platform called Toastmasters, why don't you go join in the evening? The very purpose of coming to Toastmasters was to avoid my debtors in the evening. And I came and joined here. In the course of a few weeks, I gave my first speech. And everybody clapped. Hey, people are clapping for me. Nobody had clapped or spoken something positive for a long period of time in my life in the year 2000. For a year or so, all I faced was barrages of criticism and incidents at home, at work, and I was tired. I had given up on life. And here was someone who was saying I was good. The negative had become a positive. I grabbed on to the movement called Toastmasters, became a die-hard fan, and started coming in week after week, pronouncing my speeches here, giving them with lots of venom and inspiration, and people would clap. I grabbed on those opportunities and looked at life positively. Within 2 years' time, I had turned the tide around, and today I am decently running my business with no debts. People don't call me post 7. The tipping point Toastmasters. What's your tipping point? Toastmasters? Family? Friends? Is it visiting you, or are you visiting the tipping point? Are you letting the opportunities in life go by, or are you grabbing it by your hands and the collar and saying, I'll make a difference to my life? Do that. Grab the tipping point of your life and see the world become a better place to live in.